So we are underway here with the first of the ladies 5,000 meter pairs. Nana Takahashi with the white armband, Carlin Schoutens with the red armband. These skaters are already 600 meters in. First lap times in the mid 32s. Let's see if they settle in right there. Takahashi 32.6 again. 33.1 for Schoutens. Nana Takahashi chasing a personal best of 7:18.90. Carlin Schouten 7:11.68. As Takahashi maintains her lead, 33.17 her lap time, and she'll go over the top of Carlin Schouten's 33.49 for Schouten's. And Schouten's using a little bit of draft there. As Nana Takahashi will come through. Nana Takahashi is trying to establish a pace in the high 32s, low 33s. Let's see if she maintains that here. 33.6, so a positive split. Schouten's 33.7. Schouten's in the mid 33s. Still early days in this ladies 5K. When they come around, they will have 7 laps remaining. So Takahashi looking for a 7:18 will have to skate an average lap time around 34.5. So far, she is well under that. Every lap a positive split, though. Carlin Schouten's interesting track pattern coming out of that corner. Smart move to slip in just behind Nana Takahashi and avoid a conflict on that straightaway. Schouten still in the mid 33s. She actually negative split that last lap. So she's starting to close the gap on Takahashi, who has positive split every single lap since the start of the race. But she brings it down. So Nana Takahashi finding the high 33s. Schouten, high 33s as well. As the skaters cross over on the backstretch, 1 second separating these two athletes. So the Japanese skater leading the way with 5 laps to go. Takahashi, 34.11, that's her first 34. 33.67 for Carlin Schoutens as she attacks that inner lap. Negative splitting. Let's see if Takahashi has a response as Carlin Schoutens is coming on strong on the outside. As Takahashi continues to lead, but the gap is down to 0.3 of a second. 34.3 for Takahashi. Schoutens 34.0. As they cross over on this backstretch. The 5K is a 12.5 lap race. Skaters switch laps or switch lanes every single lap. As Carlin Schoutens has taken over the lead, lap time 34.2. Takahashi 35.1 as Takahashi is starting to fade. So when these skaters come around, they will have 2 laps to go. This long 5,000 meter race. This is the longest distance for ladies in long track speed skating. As Carlin Schoutens has 2 laps remaining, 34.63, and she will come just behind Takahashi on this crossover, getting a little bit of a draft. She'll be grateful for that at the end of this race as they cross over in the backstretch for the second last time. Coming around to the bell lap, 500 meters left. 1/10 of the race to go. Carlin Schouten's doing a good job of keeping her feet moving. 35.2 her lap time. Takahashi 35.4. Neither skater catastrophically blowing up. So they're doing a good job as they're now on their last lap. See if Nana Takahashi has enough to catch Schouten's. But it looks like Schouten's will probably take this one as Takahashi makes a late effort in that inner lane as Schouten's will cross her final time at the end of this 5K, 7:09.13. That's a 2-second personal best. Takahashi 7:09.85. A 9-second PB for Nana Takahashi. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 personal bests. As we move on to our next race, this is a quadded race, meaning we have 2 pairs of ladies racing this 5K. First up, Marcus Femke. Actually, Marcus Femke is a scratch. This is Victoria Spence in the outer lane, racing on her own. She is a long way ahead of her to race solo. Beatrice Lamarche and Brianna Kramer, and the pair behind them. So Victoria Spence, her opening split, 21.2. So keep an eye on that gap time. It'll tell you how far off Spence, Lamarche, and Kramer are from Carlin Schouten's time. Forget Carlin Schouten skated a 7:09.13. Lamarche 24.19 opening split. Kramer 23.07. So Kramer and Lamarche settling into a very slow pace to begin with. Conservative approach. This is Beatrice Lamarche's first ever 5K. Brianna Kramer coming through 35.39, so she is going to try to skate in that mid 35-second range. Beatrice Lamarche 37.0 as Victoria Spence is charging ahead. 33.63 was her last lap time after 1,000 meters. As Lamarche has maybe decided to pick it up a little bit. Kramer's lap time 36.0, sorry. Lamarche finding her legs 35.6. Victoria Spence still faster than the rest, 33.7. So Victoria Spence just off the pace of Carlin Schouten's. The time to beat is a 7:09. Spence's personal best is a 7:13. So keep an eye on that number next to the red square by Victoria Spence's name. That time stays within about 5 seconds. Victoria Spence is on pace for a personal best. As Spence holding the 33s. Lamarche and Kramer in the 35s and 36s. Spence now coming up on the pair ahead of her. She is catching Beatrice Lamarche. It'll be interesting to see the reaction from Lamarche as Spence passes her. Kramer still in the 35s. Lamarche still in the 36s. Spence negative splitting into the 33s. A little bit of draft behind Beatrice Lamarche surely didn't hurt, as all three skaters in this race are now on the same straightaway. Spence now will chase down Brianna Kramer ahead of her. As Spence comes around, remember, she is the first pair. She has 6 laps to go, 7 to go for the yellow and blue armbands. Spence, that's her first 34. Important lap now for Victoria Spence. She has to make sure she doesn't let these times slip. Kramer into the 36s. Beatrice Lamarche, we've missed her time because there were so many skaters all bunched together. We hope to get it back the next lap. As Victoria Spence now passes Brianna Kramer in the pair ahead of her. So Spence, lap time, 34.4, another positive split. Kramer holding low 36s. She's doing a great job. Lamarche, 35.45. Beatrice Lamarche bringing it down. She's 2 seconds back of Brianna Kramer. She's making a late move in this race to try and catch her. As Spence comes around, 4 laps to go, 5 to go for the second pair. So Brianna Kramer on pace for a sub 7:30 time. Her personal best is a 7:35. If she keeps these times near the high 35s, low 36s, Lamarche 35.1, negative split again. Victoria Spence into the 34s. So Lamarche is speeding up. Spence is slowing down. As we're in the last third of this race. Spence now has 3 laps to go, 34.85 her lap time, keeping it under 35. Good effort from Victoria Spence. Beatrice Lamarche, another low 35. Very smart approach to this race from Beatrice Lamarche, patiently finding her pace and then building down. So Lamarche on that last lap was about even with Brianna Kramer. And Lamarche has now come by Brianna Kramer. So Kramer, who led for most of the race, has now been passed by her pair. Spence, that's her first 35. She's almost through this race. When she comes around, she will be on the bell lap. So a lap and a half to go for Victoria Spence. Beatrice Lamarche chasing her now. She's in the low 35s. Excellent race here from Beatrice Lamarche. Very intelligently raced. As Victoria Spence, here's the bell, 1 lap to go. Negative splitting, 34.96. 34.88 for Lamarche. She can see Spence ahead of her. She has someone to chase. Brianna Kramer, 38.19. Things are starting to slow down for Brianna Kramer. She's almost to the finish line, though. As Victoria Spence has 100 meters left in this 5K. Her personal best, 7:13.70. She will be close, 7:12.38. 1 second off her PB. Great time for Victoria Spence. As Beatrice Lamarche, another 34.9, and she will sprint this last lap. She's still looking technically solid in her very first 5K. Beatrice Lamarche on a great season. This would be an exclamation point at the end of it, as she will come to the line skating a final time of 7:30.91 for her very first 5K. Brianna Kramer finishing up now, driving to the line, and her final time is 7:44.52. And that wraps up our ladies 5K. Only 3 pairs of ladies 5K. The fastest time was set by Carlin Schoutens. Nana Takahashi right behind her. Victoria Spence was the fastest Canadian with a personal best, 7:12.38. Beatrice Lamarche in her very first 5K skated a 7:30.91, negative splitting the second half of the race. Femke Marcus was a scratch. Brianna Kramer was fifth, 7:44.52. And so now we will move on shortly to the men's 10,000 meter. 10,000 meter, the only distance in speed skating that starts and finishes at the finish line. There are 4 quartets of men's 10K to come. In fact, there are 5 quartets of men's 10K. The first 2 races will be pairs. Ted-Jan Blumen chasing his world record, 12:36.30 is the men's 10K world record. So Ted-Jan Blumen and Jordan Belchos in the first pair. A chance to watch the world's fastest 10K skater attack this race. In the second pair, we will see Marvin Talsma and Graham Fish. Alec Jansen's Magnus Haugli will follow them. Takuya Tuju and Ian Quinn. Hamish Black and Takahiro Ito. Hayden Mayor, Brian Hansen. Theron Sands and Shiwai Wang. Tama Milin and Bowen Zhuang. 10K is such a long race. There's a limited entry. So here comes our first pair. Ted-Jan Blumen and Jordan Belchos. And they're off. 25 long laps ahead of them. .400 meters a lap. 400 meters times 25 equals 10,000. This is the longest distance for men in long track speed skating. Some people think it's like watching paint dry. I disagree. The key to watching the 10K is keeping an eye on those lap times. Are the skaters speeding up? Are they slowing down? Are they nailing times down to the 10th, lap after lap? Skaters will also try to set up drafts behind each other every second lap. Ted-Jan Blumen's opening lap time, 29.8. 30.1 for Belchos. Blumen chasing his personal best, which happens to be the world record, 12:36.30. 30.01 for Ted-Jan Blumen, 30.66 for Belchos. So important in these 10,000 meters that these skaters find a groove. They have to find a pace that they can hit lap after lap like a metronome without even thinking about it, focusing all of their mental energy on their technique and their efficiency. Blumen's lap time, 30.1, 30.6 for Belchos. So Blumen settling into low 30-second laps. Belchos in the mid 30 seconds. The key to the 10,000 meter is repetition. Every single stride has to matter. If you make one mistake a lap, it compounds very quickly. It's a race that takes a lot of mental focus, as we see Blumen holding those low 30s. Belchos right in the mid 30s as well. As Blumen will come through. 20 laps to go. His lap time, 30.18, holding those low 30s. 30.5 for Belchos. It is a treat to watch Ted-Jan Blumen race these long races. His strides, his technique, so efficient. 30.4, so he's letting the lap time slip a little bit. This next lap will be important. Can he bring it back down? Belchos, negative splitting, 30.3. That's 2 laps in a row he's sped up, as he will try to reel in his teammate. Jordan Belchos' personal best, a 13:01:40. He set that this year, 2017, in Gangneung, Korea. Ted-Jan Blumen starting to drop off his pace, 30.5. Jordan Belchos back up into the mid-30s. So Blumen falling off his world record pace. Let's see what happens on this next lap. 31:23. So does he have a response? Or will he just wait for his pair to catch up to him rather than skate for the win or skate for the time? He'll skate for the win. Belchos still in the 30s as Belch starts to catch up as these skaters come around. 15 laps remaining. Not quite halfway through this race. 31:86 for Ted-Jan Blumen. Another positive split. 31:16 for Belchos. So this is the toughest part of the 10K. This is the first time where the legs and the lungs start to hurt. And Blumen and Belchos both off of their personal best and world record paces. 31:9 for Ted-Jan, Belchos 31:2. Blumen's going to use a bit of a draft there. As they will come around. 13 laps remaining. This is the hardest part of a 10K because the legs start to hurt and there's still more than half the race remaining. Mentally, this is where the athletes have to decide, do I go? Am I tough? Or do I not? As Belchos now going faster than Blumen on that last lap, and they are now side by side. Belchos coming back on Ted-Jan. Their lap times, 31:5 for Belchos, 31:7 for Blumen. Halfway through this race. Blumen getting a bit of a draft there. And Blumen will attack this inner. Try to stick it to Belchos as they come around. Blumen will come through. Will he negative split? 31-3. Yes, he does. Belchos positive splitting. They may be teammates, but they are still competitive. They don't like to lose. As Blumen and Belchos come around, they will have 10 laps remaining as they cross the line. Jordan Belchos, 32-2, dropping above the 31s. That's his first 32. He'll set up a draft behind Blumen. Blumen 31-8. As Belchos is now swinging an arm as he comes out of the corner, trying to will his legs to keep moving. The 10K is the most aerobic race in speed skating. 32-0 for Blumen. That's his first 32. 32-61 for Belchos. With 9 laps remaining. As Jordan Belchos now falling off the pace of his teammate Ted-Jan Blumen. Blumen 31-8, he brought it back down. 32-7 for Belchos. $10,000 is a funny distance. When the skaters finish, they can hardly stand, but 5 minutes later, they feel somewhat okay. That's because once the aerobic system has a few minutes to recover, you feel much better. 1500 is very different though. You'll see the 1500 tomorrow at finale. You skate a 1500, when you finish the race, the lactic acid makes you want to puke and your legs just can't move, and that pain stays with you for around an hour. Ted-Jan Blumen, negative splitting. Let's see if he does it again. Another 32-0. Belchos into the 33s. These skaters both started in the 30-second lap range. As they come around, 5 laps to go as they cross this finish line. Blumen negative split, 31-5, and he's building this corner hard. You wonder if this was part of the race plan. Finding a second win, Ted-Jan Blumen, as he comes around, he will have 4 to go. Jordan Belchos, another 33. He is looking tired. As Blumen comes through, negative splitting again, 31-4. And Blumen looking strong at the end of this 10K, showing good mental and physical resilience. Jordan Belchos still in the 33s. He's not dying by any means. Blumen is speeding up though. Blumen comes through. 3 laps to go. 30-84. Negative split. Can he do another one? 3 laps. Ted-Jan Blumen, can he bring this time down? Looking for a low 30-second lap. Jordan Belchos still in the 33s. He's still skating solidly. Belchos will come through. 2 laps to go. 30-53. Negative splitting again. 2 laps left. Can he keep it up to the end of the race? Jordan Belchos now a half lap behind him. And he brings it down 32-93. Can he bring it down again? Ted-Jan Blumen now approaching his bell lap. 1 lap to go for Ted-Jan Blumen. 30.1. Can he finish in the 29s? After a long 10K, Ted-Jan Blumen negative splitting his last 6 laps. Belchos 1 to go. Another 32.9. He's not dying. As Blumen's now on the home stretch, trying to finish under 30, looking for a 29. Ted-Jan Blumen 29.6, finishing just under 13 minutes, 12:59.82. As Jordan Belchos will come to the finish line. Will he skate another 32-second lap? He does, negative splitting his final lap. 13:18.21. As we have a look at our next pair. 4 races to come here for the men's 10,000 meter. This is Marvin Talsma from the Netherlands in the inner lane. He's racing Graham Fish from Saskatchewan in the outer. 2 junior skaters here. As Talsma and Fish starting their opening lap of this 25-lap race. So through 400 meters, Talsma building a little bit of a lead. He's going to set up a big draft here on this backstretch. The skaters will try and use everything they can. Graham Fish smartly moving straight to the outside, preventing his pair from getting a draft off of him. So initial lap times, Marvin Talsma 30.82, 31.6 for Graham Fish. It'll be interesting to see whether Talsma will settle into these mid O's. Jordan Belchos, don't forget, started on the mid O's, faded off to 33s. So Talsma starting pretty quick. His opening lap time, his second lap time, 31.1, 32.1 for Graham Fish. Both skaters just trying to find the pace. Sometimes it's difficult in the 10,000 meter. You don't know what the ice conditions, what the atmospheric conditions are like. You don't know what your legs can handle yet, so first few laps are a bit of a process of feeling out the ice. Talsma bringing it back down into the 30s. Fish bringing it back down to the 31s. Both skaters deciding enough was enough and bringing their times back down. As Fish and Talsma come around, they will have 20 laps to go. Talsma 31.2. Fish 32.15. See if they can bring it down again. Marvin Talsma, Graham Fish. Talsma building a straightaway lead here. He brought it down again, 30.93. Good resilience from Marvin Talsma. Fish keeping it in the low 32s. Talisman Fish, two junior skaters here paired together. Talisman will come through 30-82, 32-36 for Fish. So Talisman holding those high 30s. Fish the low 32s. Both skaters very steady race so far. So far the laps have been free though. The legs will only just start to be hurting now. Talisman another 30.8. Great lap time for Talisman. Fish, his lap time 32.4. Marvin Talisman won the silver medal in the 5K at the World Junior Championships in Helsinki, Finland this season. Graham Fish won the bronze. He was only 2 seconds back. So these two have raced before. Perhaps the start of a long rivalry, as Marvin Talisman has carved himself a 10-second lead over Graham Fish. Lap time 31.3. So he's starting to lose those high O's. See if he can bring it back down. Juniors don't typically race the 10K. Longest distance for juniors, at least at the World Championships, is the 5,000 meter. As Marvin Talisman still leading the way, his lap time 31.9. So things are starting to slow down for Marvin Talisman. Graham Fish keeping it in the low 32s. There's time yet for Fish to catch Talisman. See if Talisman can hold it together. This next lap will be crucial. He lost nearly a second on that last split. Can he keep this in the 31s? Marvin Talisman. 32.2. So he's slowing down. Fish still steady, though he is 10 seconds back. As Fish comes through. Lap time 32.4. As Talisman will come through. Marvin Talisman's lap time 32.3. So he stemmed the bleeding as Fish comes through. 31.9, negative split. Big contingent of Canadian skaters cheering on Graham Fish here. If you look to the left on your screen, you see all the people watching as Talisman comes through. 32.6. He's still slowing down Graham Fish. Will he negative split again as he comes through the line? Fish 32.3. Fish 11 seconds back of Marvin Talisman. Talisman with 10 laps to go. Will he continue to slow down? 32.9. And here comes Fish. Lap time 32 flat, negative split. Talisma's personal best in the 10,000 meter, 13:33.83. He's currently on pace to beat that. 32.4 his lap time, so he's not given up yet. Marvin Talsma holding 32s. Fish, negative split again, 31.8. He has Talsma within his sights every time he comes out of the corner. Talsma's going into the next one. That'll help Fish. See if Talsma has got some resilience. Negative splitting as well, 32.1. So good on Marvin Talsma, not letting it go. Fish, another 31.8. Fish is like an Energizer bunny. He just will not quit. As Talsma is bringing it down. When they come around, they will have 7 to go. Talsma now only a straightaway ahead, 32.8. This next lap is really important for him. If Fish can keep bringing it down, he might make a race of this. 32.2 for Graham Fish. So Fish slowly gaining. He doesn't have much time left in this race to catch him, though. Talsma coming through, lap time, 33.1. That's his first 33. Fish, negative splitting, 32.1. Fish took back a second. He is coming for Talsma. He can see him down the straightaway. This should be an exciting finish. Graham Fish's personal best, 13:35. As Talsma comes through, 33.7, positive splitting. Fish is gaining hard, 32.1. He is now 5 seconds back. This will be an interesting finish. Four laps to go. Talsma and Fish. As they come around. Exciting 10K here as Talsma comes through. What will his lap time be? 33.1. He brings it back down. No quit in Marvin Talsma. Graham Fish, 32.4. 4 seconds back now. Only 4 laps left, though. Is it too little, too late from Graham Fish? As Marvin Talsma is not giving up. They will come through, half a straightaway separating them. 33.6 for Talsma. Fish, 32.6. He gained a second on that lap. Still 4 seconds back with 3 laps to go. Important that both skaters don't lose sight of their technique. At this point in the race, they're locked into a battle. As Fish gaining hard. Less than half a straightaway now. Talsma, 33.9. Fish, negative splitting, 32.5. He gained a second and a half there. As Talsma looks over his shoulder, he sees Fish gaining on him. Epic battle with 2 laps to go. As Fish can see Talsma in his sight, he can smell blood. 500 meters left. Fish and Talsma. Fish will get to finish on the backstretch. Talsma's got an answer, though, 32.99. He brings it down, 32.32 for Fish. Talsma's putting together a solid last 2 laps here. Not giving up. It looks like Talsma, if he can keep up this pace on this last lap, will take it. Fish, though, making this race fun. Talsma will take it at the line. Final time 13:25.60. 13:28.63 for Graham Fish. Big personal best for both skaters. They pushed each other that whole race. So far, after 4 skaters have raced, Blumen has the fastest time, 12:59.82. Belchos 13:18.21. Marvin Talsma and Graham Fish locked in an epic battle in the last race. Talsma came ahead with a 13:25. Fish 13:28. What a race that was. As we now move on to our next quartet. 2 pairs racing at the same time in this one. This is Alec Janssens and Magnus Haugli, and Takaya Tuju and Ian Quinn. There will be a lot to keep track of here in this 10K. Pay attention to the armbands in these quadded races. Alec Janssens, having started in the inner lane, is wearing the white armband. He's also the tallest man out there. Tuju, the Japanese skater, wears the red armband. Keep an eye on Quinn in black as well. Quinn in the yellow armband, black in the blue. As Alec Janssens and Takuya Tuju come in, we'll see their initial lap times, 30.8 for Tuju, 31.1 for Janssens. The skaters obviously inspired by Fish and Talsma. Quinn and Black now coming through. High ones for both skaters. Black setting up a big draft on this backstretch. Every little draft counts in the 10K. This is Hamish Black and Ian Quinn. As Black leads that pair, lap time, high 31, 31.9, 32.3 for Quinn. Janssens and Tuju keeping pace with each other. Tuju pulling ahead just a little bit, 31.5, 31.8 for Janssens. As we get a shot of them on the backstretch. All 4 skaters in these early stages of the 10K trying to skate as efficiently as possible. It's a challenge to stay relaxed in these early stages of the race when everything feels so good. If they go too fast, they risk using up all their energy before the final few laps. As Tuju starting to pull away, holding those high 31s. Janssens in the mid 32s. So Quinn and Black both still holding high 31s, low 32s. They are working off of each other right now. As Quinn and Black come around, they have 19 laps to go. They are neck and neck, trading leads. Quinn and Black in the low 32s, high 31s. Tuju comes through, 31.78. He's keeping pace with Quinn and Black. Jansen's in the low twos. All four skaters not showing any cracks yet, skating all very steadily and efficiently. We'll have to see if they can hang on here. Alec Jansen's still holding those mid 32s. Tuju into the 32s now. As Quinn and Black are still neck and neck, mirror image of each other across the ice here. Quinn 32-2, 32-6 for Black. So Black letting that last lap slip a little bit. He has to bring it down. Key point of the race for him. As Tuju comes through. 32-0. 32-5 for Jansen's. So all four skaters still looking good. As Takuya Tuju pulling away from Jansen's by a little bit. Still within his sight though. Quinn and Black trading leads again. Quinn into the high 32s. Black into the low 32s. Alec Jansen's personal best in the 10,000 meter, a 13:32.41. As Black and Quinn still holding those low 32s. They're doing a great job. Jansen's and Tuju slowly slowing down. Black comes through the inner lane. Lap time 32-2, 32-5 for Quinn. So in that last race, Graham Fish set a Canadian junior record within that 10,000 meter. 13:28.63, the new Canadian junior record from Graham Fish. Quinn and Black still trading leads as they come through. You see this fairly often. Every time a skater finishes a lap on the inner lane, they speed up a little bit. It's sort of a psychological thing because they can see the outer lane ahead of them through the second half of the lap. As Jansen's and Tuju both still holding 32s. Jansen's 6 seconds back, but he's starting to close those gaps. As Quinn and Black losing those 32s. They are over halfway done now. Still neck and neck between Quinn and Black. Jansen's now skating faster than Takuya Tuju. That's his first lap. Faster than his pair. So can he start to reel him in with 10 laps to go? He has 5 seconds to make up. 6 seconds to make up. As Tuju comes through. That's his first 33. Jansen's, can he maintain his pace? 32.5. So Jansen's steadily in these mid 32s. It's on a great race so far. Lots of ice left though. As Hamish Black starting to pull away from his pair. Negative splitting 32.5 for Black. Quinn positive split into the 33s. So slowing down are the American and the Japanese skater, as both Canadian skaters staying steady. As we come around We see Hamish Black extending his lead over Ian Quinn. Another 32, 32-9, 33-6 for Quinn. So Black slowly pulling away. Janssens is closing the gap on Tuju. Tuju 33-22. Janssens negative splitting 32-4. So he's bringing those times down. Janssens starting to reel in his partner. 3 seconds back now. He was once 6 seconds back. Black 32.85, keeping it in the 32s. Ian Quinn 34.09. He has to go now. If he's not careful, those lap times will start to bleed. He could very quickly be skating 35s if Ian Quinn's not careful. Alec Janssens another 32.4, like a metronome. Tuju 33.3. Hamish Black comes through 33.1. That's his first 33. Can he bring it back down on this inner lap? 33.8 for Quinn. So Quinn has an answer. He's not ready to give up yet. Alec Janssens 32.6, another mid 32. He's still gaining on Tuju. 2 seconds back now. As all skaters have 6 laps to go. 6 laps to go. Quinn 33.88. 33.17 for Black. Still in the low 33s. Black wants to bring this back down to a 32. His coach will be yelling at him. Janssens 32.8. And he's about to catch his pair as he comes out of the corner ahead of Takuya Tuju. Alec Janssens will try to speed up on this outer lane, put the dagger into his Japanese pair. As he comes around, he's been gaining steadily for the last 5 or 6 laps. Black in the low 33s. He needs a negative split. Hamish Black. Alec Janssens another mid 32, getting a good draft on this backstretch. Someone to chase. Black's personal best in the 10K, 13:42. Keeps these lap times down. He has a chance at that PB. 33.1, Hamish Black negative splitting. Ian Quinn hanging on. He's in the 34s. Janssen still in the 32s. He's keeping it together. Tuju's got an answer, though. He's starting to race his pair as Janssens and Tuju now neck and neck. Hamish Black, 33.25, another low 33. 3 laps to go for him. And Alec Janssens comes through with 2 laps left. 32.8. Can he finish this race in the 32s? Tuju's picking it up, negative splitting, 32.7. He's going to make a race of it. This will be an interesting finish between Alec Janssens and Takuya Tuju. Hamish Black, another low 33. Bell lap for Janssens and Tuju. Close race, 32.58. Only hundredths apart. This will be a 1-lap race now after this 10K for Alec Janssens and Takuya Tuju. Who's got the stronger finish? Bell lap for Hamish Black, 32.99, bringing it down. Ian Quinn bringing it down as well into the 33s as Takuya Tuju out-sprinting Alec Janssens on the last lap of this 10K will finish with a final time of 13:34.95, 13:35.72 for Alec Janssens, just missing his personal best by 3 seconds. Great 10K race from Tuju and Janssens. as Black will finish up with a 31.99. His final time, 13:38.66 for second personal best for Hamish Black. Ian Quinn, 13:48.89. So our next quad is up on the line. This is Ito Takahiro in the inner lane, racing Hayden Mayor in the outer lane. Starting behind them is Brian Hansen in the inner lane, and Shiwai Wang in the outer. This is Hayden Mayor's first ever 10,000 meter. He's a junior skater. Very good at the 5K. So last competition of the year, a good opportunity to tempt his hand at double the distance. So opening splits, 36 seconds for Mayor and Ito. Takahiro Ito's personal best in the 10K is a 13:57.27. So initial pace for Ito and Mayor, low 32s. First few laps are usually a little bit of a feel out. So Ito and Mayor are trying to find the pace. Ito comes through 32.55, 32.68 for Mayor. Both skaters deciding maybe the low twos are a bit too quick. Hansen and Wang in the mid 31s. Hansen slowing down though. Wang sticking in the 31s. As they'll come through now. This is Ito and Mayor. Ito finding those steady mid 32s. Mayor still trying to find the pace, 33.1. As Hansen and Wang will come through. They've settled into the 32s. Brian Hansen, his personal best is a 13:24.11. He is off that pace right now, but he's starting to bring it down, 31.5. Wang, 31.9. So Mayor and Ito. Ito comes through, another mid 32. Mayor, a high 32. So Mayor still hasn't found a comfortable pace yet. They have about 18 to go. As Hansen finding those 31s. Shiwai Wang in the mid 32s. See if Ito can skate another mid 32. 32.4, bringing it down a little bit. 33.2 for Mayor. Mayor has to settle in somewhere. His first ever 10K. Hard to find that pace if he's never done it before. Brian Hansen, 32-0. Wang, negative splitting, 31-7. As they come around. Ito, negative splitting, 32-2. He's starting to bring those lap times down. Hayden Mayor, 33-1. That's a couple laps in a row. He's hit that time, so 33-1s are likely what Hayden Mayor will try to stick with. Brian Hansen, 31-4. And Hansen with a unique skating style. Shoulders sitting fairly far up. As Ito, another low 32. Mayor, low 33. Both skaters now doing a good job finding that pace. Mayor looking nice and relaxed down that backstretch. And building his corners as Wang gets a big draft off of Brian Hansen. See if Brian Hansen can bring this lap time down again. He keeps swinging between the 31s and the 32s. As Ito's another low 32. Mayor low 33. And Hansen bringing it back down into the 31s. Good job from Brian Hansen. Wang high 32. Interesting to see if he has a response as Hansen and Wang can now see Hayden Mayor in their sights. See if Ito and Mayor can hang on to their times. 32-6 for Ito, 32-3 for Mayor, bringing it back down. He's 7 seconds back of his pair. Brian Hansen, 31-73. And Brian Hansen looking very relaxed, is quietly putting together a very quick race here. Wang starting to fade a little bit. This next lap will be crucial. Can he bring it back down as Ito will come through? Another mid-32. Mayor, mid-35. Hansen, 32-0. Can he give us another 31 as Brian Hansen will go around Hayden Mayor on this backstretch? Wang into the 33s. That's his first 33. As Hansen is really starting to pull ahead of him. Ito really expanding his lead over Mayor now, about a second a lap. Both skaters doing a good job maintaining their pace. As Hansen using the draft on the other pair in the quad. Wily move from Brian Hansen. Is Wang not swinging an arm in the corners? Interesting strategy. Most skaters will swing one arm in the corners, put the arm on their back in the straightaways. Ito still in the 32s, although he's starting to slip a little bit. 33-5 for Mayor. Next lap is really important for Hayden Mayor. He's just past the halfway point of this race. He has to bring the next lap down. Hansen bringing it down, 31-4. 34-3 for Shiwai Wang. The wheels are starting to come off. And Ito another 32. Mayor will come through. Holding it steady, 33-5. Great lap from Hayden Mayor. As they come around, all skaters, 9 to go. Important that as these skaters get tired, they stay long and loose in these races. Ito into the 33s. He's starting to die a little bit. Mayor dying a little bit as well. Still in the 33s. Another big lap for Hayden Mayor. This one is important. Can he bring it back down? Hansen, 31.54, holding these mid-31s. This Mayor looking dog-tired. He really has to focus here and keep everything steady. As Wang is starting to put his hands on his knees. Ito, 33-1 again. Mayor, this is his first 34. Time to show what he's made of. As Hayden Mayor comes out. When he comes around, he will have 7 to go. As to keep his hands on his back, Hayden Mayor. Be careful he doesn't let these lap times slip. Brian Hansen, negative splitting, 31-3. As he is starting to catch Takahiro Ito. He will pass him on this backstretch now. Ito will gratefully take a little bit of a draft. And Mayor on his first 10K, still holding his lap times down. He's doing a good job. Wang, 36.46. He is falling apart a little bit as Brian Hansen is about to lap his pair. He's still in the 31s. Brian Hansen putting together a very good race here. He is on pace to beat Jordan Belchos. All three skaters on the same straightaway. As Hansen will go around Wang, lapping him. Hansen has 2,000 meters to go. Ito back down into the 32s. He's doing a good job of chasing Brian Hansen. Hayden Mayor, 35.03. He's still doing okay. This is his first 10K. He's on the home stretch now. Every stride matters. Hayden Mayor has Brian Hansen bearing down on him. Brian Hansen, this is his first lap in the 32s in a long time. Let's see if he can bring it back down to the 31s. Brian Hansen, a master class of a 10K here. So steady. Lap time, negative splitting, 32.1. Ito, 30.85. Ito is picking it up as well. He is starting to catch Hansen back again. Mayor in the high 35s. Wang finding a bit of a second wind. Bringing it back down. The 10,000 meter is a long way to go if you're not having a good race. As Mayor comes through, he has 2 laps to go. Hansen, 2 laps left. Hansen's in the low 32s. Ito is chasing him down. Wang down to the 34s. Wang finding second life in this race. And boy, does that look painful. Not good news when these skaters start putting their hands on their knees. As Hansen chases Mayor. Hansen's on his last lap now. Mayor as well. And Ito slowly putting together a good race as well. He's been in the 32s the entire race. As Wang's in the 36. And Brian Hansen will finish this 10K 3:19.60, just missing Jordan Belchos' time. Takahiro Ito, 13:37.38. Hayden Mayor has 1 lap to go. Almost at the finish line for Hayden Mayor in his first ever 10K. Wang has 1 to go as well. Can Hayden Mayor keep this last lap under 36? Mayor will skate to the line. His final time, 14:12.78. Very respectable first 10K for Hayden Mayor. There's a long way to go as Shi Wai Wang will finish with a 4:11.91, just ahead of Mayor. We've now come to our last race of the day. This is Theron Sands and Shi Wai Wang underway. Theron Sands from the United States. Shi Wai Wang. Shi Wai Wang raced in the last race. This is Theron Sands and Bowen Swan. Theron Sands, 53 years old. So Bowen taking an early lead. About 3 seconds on Sands. Thomas Mélin skating on his own. This is Mélin's first ever 5K or 10K. This is not his first ever 10K. His first 10K, he skated a 15:28.28. He'll be looking to improve that today. As Sands and Bowen settle in. Bowen and Sands starting at a pretty quick clip in the low 32s. See if this is sustainable. Thomas Mélin as well. All three skaters may be a little ambitious. Bowen 33.24, 32.94 for Sands. Mélin 32.7. He's also starting pretty quick. If he could hold on to these 32s, it would be a massive personal best. Big if. The 10K is a long way to go. Sands and Bowen well matched in the low 33s. As Theron Sands swinging an arm down the straightaways. Don't see that very often in the 10K. Mélin holding high 32s. Bowen back into 32s. 33.3 for Sands. As Mélin comes through the line, 33.2 is his lap time. Theron Sands' personal best in the 10K is a 14:37. He skated that this season in Milwaukee. As he is keeping pace with Bowen Zhuang. 33.05 for Bowen. 33.2 for Sands. Very steady race here from Theron Sands, all in those low 33s. Milin 33.67. He's still in those mid to high 33s. Bowen Zwan's personal best is a 13.53.03. Sands should give him a run for his money here. Should be a good race between these two skaters. Both of them in the low 33s. Milin up into the high 33s. Let's see if Milin can keep his laps in the 33s. This next lap will be really important for him. As Bowen comes through. Those lap times hardly moved. Low 33s for Sands and Bowen. Milin coming through. 15 laps to go. 34.18. As Sands holding that gap steady behind Bowen Zhang. Both skaters slowing down a little bit there. Sands is starting to close the gap though. As Milin comes around. He has 15 left. 34.02 for Thomas Milin, negative splitting. $33.45 for Sands. He is now picking it up. $33.57 for Bowen. Here's Thomas Milin, 34.21. His lap times in the low 34s now. Just under halfway through this race. Thomas Milin. It's a long way to go skating on his own. As Sands and Bowen still duking it out 2 seconds apart. Milin coming through. 13 laps left for Thomas Milin. 34.03. He's found a groove in those low 34s. This is Bowen and Sands. Bowen 32.95. That's a negative split. He's trying to distance his pair. Sands, though, nice and steady, low 33s. As Thomas Milin comes through. Lap time 34.4. So Thomas Milin 3 seconds back of Theron Sands right now. Theron Sands, like a metronome. Look at those lap times. 33.2, 33.2, one after another. As Thomas Milin will come through. Will he continue to slow down just a little bit? 34.5. He's 4 seconds back of Sands. Sands is 3 seconds back of Bowen as Bowen comes through. 33.5. And Sands another low 33. He's 2 seconds back. You start to close the gap. As Milin comes through, he's over the hump. 10 to go for Thomas Milin. That's his first 35. See if he can bring it back down into the 34s. As Bowen's in the high 33s now. Sands, another 33.3. Important lap here for Theron Sands. Can he throw down another 33.3 or 2, or will he let those times drop a little bit? He's starting to gain on Bowen Zwang. Thomas Milian, another 35.0. As Sands skates another 33.3. 33.7 for Bowen. As Sands starting to gain ground. Exactly 2 seconds back. So it'll be an interesting finish. Can Bowen hold the lead he's gained? Thomas Milian, low 35. As Sands and Bowen come through. Another 33.3 for Theron Sands. His last 3 laps have been within 1/100th of each other. Bowen into the 34s as Theron Sands comes from the inside and passes Bowen down the straightaway. We'll see if Bowen is resilient enough to take that challenge and meet it. As Milian, another 35.1. Theron Sands, 33.4. This is his first 33.4 in a while. His lap time slowly, ever so slowly slipping. But he is gaining around a second on Bowen every single lap right now. As those two skaters bear down on Thomas Milian. Milian, 35.3, his lap time. As Sands has now taken over the lead. 33.4. 8,000 meters down, 2K to go. Bowen in the 34s. As both skaters chase Thomas Milian, who's in the pair behind them. Theron Sands, master skater, racing an excellent 5K. He is on personal best pace here. 33.41, negative splitting that last lap. 34.95 for Bowen. His next lap might be in the 35s. As Thomas Milian holding those low 35s. As they come around, there will be 3 left for Theron Sands and Bowen Zwang. On the home stretch now, 3 to go. 4 for Thomas Milian with the yellow armband. 33.59 for Sands. Milian another 35. As Bowen is now in the 35s. These skaters almost done this 10,000 meter race. As they come around, Theron Sands has 2 laps to go. His lap time, 33.6. Milian, 35.4. 35.0 for Bowen. They cross over on the backstretch. Thomas Milian, don't forget, is in a different pair from Theron Sands and Zwang Bowen. So as they come around, we will have the bell for Theron Sands and Bowen Zwang. 2 laps to go for Thomas Milian. 33.74 for Sands. He is chasing a big PB here. He's on a fantastic race. Bowen's bringing it back down for his last lap. Thomas Milian will come around with 500 meters to go. Can he negative split his last lap? As Theron Sands will arrive at the finish line. Massive personal best. 13:57.62 for Theron Sands. Bowen finishes with a 14:05.40. Milin trying to finish up here. Thomas Milin on track for a big PB as he comes around on his final lap. Thomas Milin, his time 14:21.19, over a minute off his personal best. And so that wraps up our racing today at the Olympic Oval finale. One day of racing to come. Tomorrow it's 1500 meters, mass start, and Rust Buster 500. Remember to tweet at the Olympic Oval, hashtag finally finale, to see your photo on the webcast. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you tune back in tomorrow at 9 a.m. with more great racing.